The Project EPOCH has come out with a new post right here called Let's Talk Racials. They're basically changing up all the various racials that you can acquire in the game. Now, most of them are per race basis, right? Well, a lot of them are going to be changing, and some of them per class. Like, as we know, some of the priest racials, like if you're a priest but as a different race, can vary. They're changing that up as well. Not only that, there's going to be new class race combinations, so they need to acquire for that too. Not only that, it looks like we're going to be able to, well, here's some of the changes right here. We'll go through that. They're allowing us to change our racial, but this is going to be a level 60 feature. Again, we'll get into this later, but we're going to be able to change our racials. Some of them are changing visually, but will have the same effect as the other races' racial ability, just for more flavor, depending on what class or race you are, how we acquire it, well, at least the idea of how we're going to acquire it, and the cosmetic racials here, which we'll go through. Look at that, that's fucking cool right there. See that wolf you get to ride on as an orc? Alright, so we're going to start from the top. Since the early development of Project EPOCH and through Beta 1, our current incarnation of racial abilities has been essentially a placeholder while we experimented and discussed internally what the direction we wanted to take from them. Today we are announcing our plans for racials and our reasoning why we're going to go down this path. So here are the pros to having racials. In theory, increases diversity in playstyle between two classes of different races. It provides lore flavor, an important RPG mechanic that many people recognize and care about, and a roleplay friendly way to tailor your character's place in the world. And now here are the cons to having racials, as anyone who's played Classic knows. Racials are well known that it can have an effect on your decision too greatly. For many playing Warrior in Vanilla, it is wrong if you're not a human or orc. We strongly dislike this. Attempting to balance racials can upset players due to the time it takes to level and gear a character. In addition, if we are to provide a race change option in the future, then any racial balancing might be seen in as a community as money grubbing in attempts to make the players pay for better racials. So blah blah blah. Okay, so if we go down here, this is basically what they're changing about their various racials. So what people typically care about when it comes to, like, you know, the min-maxers, you can only play an orc if you're a warrior, is the specialization of you get +1 or +2% axe damage. As a troll, you get more damage to beasts if you're a hunter, right? So what they're doing is, instead of giving you power that would make you, you know, more influenced to play a certain race class combination, they're instead giving you what's it called? I forgot what it's called. Expertise. Now, if you don't remember what expertise is, because I believe this was added in, it was either TBC or Wrath. I think it was TBC. Either way, if you don't remember what expertise is, it's basically the chance to not be dodged. So if I'm attacking a Gnoll, you know, let's say that's like a level higher than me or whatever, they are, you know, I'm attacking them and they're dodge, parry, dodge, parry. They're, you know, all my attacks are missing, right? I'm missing all of my attacks. Expertise gives you the chance to not be dodged by, as we see here, 1%, 2%, whatever it is. So instead of giving you power, it gives you the chance to not be dodged for sword, mace, fist, gun, crossbow, such and such. All of them by 1%. And it reduces your chance to be dodged or parried with swords and two-handed swords by 1% if you have the sword specialization, for example. And then here we go here. Here's all the specializations that each race can have. So orcs, axe, fist, polearm. You know what? They need to, going off on a little tangent here, they need to do something with fists. Just power up fists. So if somebody wants to fight with fist weapons or just punching them in the face, make that happen. Bring it back. It'll just like an Oblivion. Bring it back. Okay, anyway. Tauren, gun, staff, mace, which I don't really like how Tauren have gun. Make it bow, please. I hate how Taurens have guns. I always get a bow the second I can. Anyway. Undead, sword, dagger, and wand. Troll, bow, throne, and axe. Makes sense. Human, sword, mace, and wand. Okay. Dwarf, gun, axe, mace, and fist. Yes. Night elf, staff, bow, and polearm. Gnome, dagger, sword, and throne. Okay. So, how does this stat work? Well, I basically just explained it to you, so let's skip that. Priest racials. Now, as I explained earlier, they're having 2 new class race combinations for priests. That would be the Gnome priest and the Tauren priest, which I do not understand why you're making a Tauren a priest. It just does not make sense to me. I don't care about the bullshit logic that Blizzard pulled out of their ass in Cataclysm to have Tauren priests and paladins. It doesn't make sense in the rest of the lore. They literally just added in, wrote a little bit of stuff around the text and said, oh look, now it makes sense. No, it doesn't! Anyway, I don't really care about gnomes. They don't exist in my mind. Anyway, so the so the priest racials. So if you're a gnome priest, you're going to be able to greatly increase the morale of your party members, giving them X mana every 5 seconds. The effect lasts 15 seconds. They also get increases your spirit by X%, giving your intellect or increases your intellect and spirit by X%. Oh no, I read it wrong. My apologies. Increases your spirit by X depending on your intellect for 20 seconds is basically what it's saying. And then for Tauren, we get reduces the chance that you will be critically hit by spells and attacks by X% for 15 seconds. And this other ability is actually kind of cool. Causes the target to emit harmful rays of light, dealing X holy damage up to 3 enemies around the target for every 2 seconds for 14 seconds. So it's basically an AoE that you get if you're a Tauren priest. So, and then they said right here, we put the X's, you know, we remove the values because it depends on the ranks and blah blah blah, so that's to be expected. So, racial knowledge. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now, it doesn't say until about down here. Yeah, this is going to be a level 60 thing, so you're not going to be able to do this while leveling, but you will be able to change what racials you have. And, in order to do that, first of all, you have to be level 60. Now, this guy right here, this looks like a placeholder because if we go down here, here's all the actual specializations that you can click from. So, I'm not sure what that one is, but... Oh, you know what I think? I think it gives you, like, the full package of the human racials instead of just, whatever the human one is. I guess this, I don't know. But, anyway, if we, read through this here... What happens is, when you're level 60, now this is going to be for soloing, it's not really going to be a group activity, they said it here that they want this to be like a solo activity at level 60. If you want the ability to, let's say, what they use the example of, have the Tauren racials as a human, for an example. So, if you want that, you would need to, right here, you would have to track down a legendary Tauren warrior and learn from them through the acts of bravery and skill. And that's if you're a Horde player, actually. If you're an Alliance player, instead, you have to track down a Grim Totem and conquer him. So it has to be probably like a legendary Grim Totem. You have to conquer him through combat, and yada yada yada, and that's basically how you would learn that. So it's going to be different for Horde and Alliance players depending on the race that you want to learn. I think once you learn it, you'll be able to switch back and forth between racials. However, it is going to be on a 2-week cooldown, so you're not going to be able to just switch willy-nilly. You will be able to switch for free, but it's on a cooldown. Now let's go down here. Okay, so... this is when they're starting to talk about what we're going to get to down here. They're basically saying now, like, some racials are very race-specific. For an example, what did they use? They used Night Elves being able to turn into wisps. Or Undead being able to cannibalize. Now, they're not going to... they're not going to remove those from the races, per se. Instead, they're... if you choose to... get the undead racial, for example. It's still going to give you the exact same benefits, however, it will be called and look different. So you're not a dwarf cannibalizing another dwarf. It will be instead what they use for the example down here. Undead, cannibalize, so blah blah blah. If you are... where is it? Okay, it's called Rotten Rations, and when you activate it, it will regenerate 3% of your total health for every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Any movement, action, blah 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 will cancel out the effect. So basically, it's the exact same thing as Cannibalize, but it's called Rotten Rations. So you probably just go into an eating animation. I hope they make it look cool at least, you know? Like, okay, so if you've played retail version, this happened in BFA. So every expansion, they sometimes add new custom animations to the various races and classes, depending on the story and situation. So in BFA, obviously they had a lot of troll stuff, right? They added a new animation to the basic troll model of a Cannibalize. Now, they did this for the blood trolls, but if you go into the WoW model viewer, you can look at it and access it. It looks just like the undead one, but he's like down on the ground. He's like really like ripping off limbs. It's really creepy. They should add that for the troll Cannibalize. That would be fucking awesome. It'd probably be kind of awkward because this is old models, animations, and rigs versus new ones, but if they could do that, that'd be fucking awesome. But, you know, something like that, just to add a little bit of that, you know, uniqueness and flavor, that'd be amazing. But anyway, they said down here, so this is going to be some of the, as they put it, cosmetic racials. So it'll give you the exact same benefits as another racial, but it will look different. So right here, human. The Banner of Heritage. Place a Kingdom of Stormwind banner at your feet lasting 3 minutes. Multiple kingdom banners via options via the glyph system. Yeah, so the glyph system will allow you to also change what it looks like as well. Dwarf Special, Special Brew rather. Provide a placeable keg of special ale for your allies to drink from. The Gnomish Invention. Your flight path routes will allow you to take on the appearance of a Gnomish gyrocopter, which can be toggled off as well. And if you're a Night Elf, the Wisp form, you are a Wisp when you travel while dead. Tauren, a tribal totem, you can have a totem backpack for 10 minutes with different models via the glyph system. For Troll, Bonsamdi's Judgment. On death, there is a chance that the Loa Bonsamdi will appear and mock your failure. Anyone who played BFA knows it's a pain in the ass. Ah, yeah, didn't roll out of that one, man. Cannibalize. Appear to consume an undead or humanoid corpse. So I guess that's just for the undead, rather, right? And then Orc, you're going to be able to travel while you're dead while riding on the embodiment of Logosh and his pack. So that's basically like the Orc's version of Wisp. Because, you know, if you're a Wisp as a Night Elf, you do get a slight speed boost running while you're dead. So that's probably the Orc's version of it. So, anyway, that's pretty much, I kind of like, you know, skimmed through this, but I gave you the major points of everything. I tried explaining it as best as I can. I may have misinterpreted maybe one or two things, but I think this is pretty straightforward. Of course, subject to change as the betas roll out. I still don't know when the next beta is, but it should be in the next couple of months. But anyway, if you want to know more about Project EPOCH, any news that comes out, I'm going to be playing the next beta coming out. I definitely am still interested in this server. The first beta was a success in my opinion. The next one is going to be pretty good. I can't wait for a full launch, but I mean, they're getting pretty close. I'm going to say they're probably halfway there if we're getting ready to do like the higher leveled areas in the next beta. They'll probably have a final beta for like the end game stuff. I don't know how long this will last. If I had to guess, given that the last beta was a few months ago, maybe by the end of the year or early next year at the latest, probably for a full release. That's just my guesstimation. Sooner or later is up to debate. Anyway, like the video, subscribe, I'll see you later.